Hello, my name is Tom Lodziak. In this video, we're going to compare the backhand flick technique of an amateur player, me, with the backhand flick technique of a professional player, England #1 Liam Pitchford. Do I have a better backhand flick technique than Liam Pitchford? Spoiler alert, no I don't. Liam is able to generate much more spin and much more speed. But how does he do this? Let's take a look. This video is sponsored by Brybar Table Tennis. Brybar sell a huge range of table tennis equipment, including the Victus Liam Pitchford blade and the Victus V15 extra rubbers. Go to brybartt.co.uk. So here's my backhand flick technique. Liam's serving backspin to me and I'm doing a backhand flick. Hey, you know what? It doesn't look too bad. I'm getting the ball over. It's pretty fast. When I use this in matches, it's usually quite effective. You know, it's okay. But as we now look at Liam's backhand flick technique, we can see it's a different level altogether. It's much faster, much spinnier, and much more likely to be able to win a point. But it's kind of difficult when you look at that footage in real time to see exactly what the difference is. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some analysis, some slow motion analysis. We're going to put my flick, Liam's flick side by side, completely slow down the footage, and that's going to help us see what the difference is, how Liam is able to play a much faster, spinnier backhand flick compared to me. Let's take a look at the slow motion video. Short backspin serve, and we're both doing our backhand flick. And let's pause the action here. So we'll start with our heads. Well, Liam's a little bit lower. You can see that already. Elbow height at this stage, it's, well, roughly about the same. But obviously the clear difference is our bat starting positions. If we look at Liam, Liam is horizontal to the table and my bat angle is much more vertical. Now let's look at Liam's flick first. So he starts in his horizontal position, then he has a little movement backwards, he keeps that elbow position high, then as he approaches the ball, his bat angle opens up slightly, lots of acceleration, and his wrist flicks out. Okay. By contrast, let's look at my technique. Bat angle stays very vertical. As the ball approaches, my bat just moves forwards and up with a little bit of wrist movement, much less than Liam's. And if we look at them side by side, you can see the very clear difference between the technique. Mine is a much more basic backhand flick. I'm able to generate some speed and spin, but Liam is able to generate a lot more speed and spin. So how is Liam able to do this? Well, once again, if we look at Liam's technique, you can see how he almost kind of coils his wrist backwards. He keeps his elbow quite far forward, keeps it up, and coils the wrist back, and he has that extra wrist movement back, and then he uncoils with an awful lot of acceleration going forwards and up, creating lots of spin and speed. Now if we took a look at the side-on angle, we can see this very clearly here as well. So once again, Liam's starting lower than I am. We both move in, but this is a good point to pause the video once more. Let's have a look. So Liam, you can see he's starting with his back closer to the end of the table. Once again, you can see that he's quite horizontal, his back horizontal to the table. Whereas for me, I'm reaching forwards for the ball. I'm going to meet the ball. This means, once again, that my flick technique is much more limited. I'm solely relying on trying to do a quick movement up using some forearm and a little bit of wrist. What Liam is able to achieve is a much more aggressive backhand flick technique. And if we pause it here, you can see the very clear difference between the elbow position. Look at Liam's elbow position. He's got it much higher, it's essentially head height, and that allows him to get into this more coiled position where he can get his bat low, he can bend his wrist back, and then he can uncoil, creating lots of spin and speed. So I think the number one takeaway from that analysis is all about the wrist. You can see that Liam uses his wrist in a completely different way to which I use my wrist. His bat starts very horizontal to the table, and as that ball approaches, he has that extra movement back, and then he's able to accelerate much more into the ball to generate a lot more spin. So if you want to play a little bit more like a professional player and less like an amateur player, the thing for you to be working on is this wrist when playing the backhand flick, seeing how much you can bend the wrist back and accelerate forwards. And finally, here's just some footage of me trying to return Liam's backhand flick. And I can tell you it was really difficult because it's just so fast. The wrist movement, it just whips at you, and it's really hard to see whether he's going to play it down the line or play it cross court. So not only are you having to deal with speed and spin, you're having to deal with Liam's very accurate placement. And as you can see from this footage, I'm really struggling to get the ball back on the table at all. What a shot, man! Thank you very much for watching, and a big thank you to Liam Pitchford for demonstrating his exceptional backhand flick technique. Also thank you to Bar Table Tennis for helping me to make this video series with Liam. I'll have more of these analysis type videos with Liam coming up over the following months. So if you found this one useful, look out for the ones that I will be posting in the future. Okay, I will see you all soon. Bye bye.